Manufacturers like Microsoft or Apple, right? They say, yeah, we're supporting, for example, Windows 10 up to next year. After that, it's not supported, right? And it's not safe to use. We're talking about it, right? And we as the security professionals can confirm it's true why it's not safe, right? Because we do not release security patches for it anymore. And without these security patches, if bad guys find some vulnerabilities, and they're doing it all the time, they will just penetrate the system, yeah, and ruin everything. Whereas why is actually, yes, important to do not use outdated operating system and outdated software which are not supported anymore because we won't be patched for security flaws and holes. And that is a problem. In some areas this is not easy to do. For example, I don't know, some banking or industrial area where the cost of replacement is very high or very difficult to perform if we're talking about, I don't know, some factories or things like this. So these guys, they need to pay very special attention to that. Know that they use potentially vulnerable software and find other ways, for example, specific security products which will close these loopholes. As a security company, we're also promoting proper approach to security. We give recommendations like what should be done, right? What should you do? Like, for example, patch your software, have actual operating system, how you should approach of storing your credentials like logins and passwords, what kind of security software you should use to be on the safe side. So you can find these recommendations from government bodies and from private security companies as well.
It was the case probably 5 years ago, right? But I think nowadays, because we work with a lot of macOS malware as well, so I can see that the trend is we wrote more rules, more detection rules for macOS cases, so which means there is more malware coming to the system. So yeah, I really can tell that they are increasing by numbers.
Yeah, the thing is, it's connected to popularity.
Mm-hmm.
So bad guys are after the popular things. Why? Because they can infect more machines, more users, and get more money. It's very simple math. So Windows is still continue to be most popular operating system, the family of operating systems. But macOS market share is actually growing over recent years. The more market share is growing, that means more users will potentially infect. As soon as it becomes financially viable and profitable, they are doing that. That's why we see increase also in macOS malware. You cannot say macOS is much more secure than Windows. No, it's just about the effort which bad guys will put into attacking it. Let's say there's a thing like, for example, there is not so much malware for Linux. This is just because Linux is not so popular. Linux is popular for servers, right, but not popular in home environment as an endpoint in the companies and things like this. Again, doesn't mean that Linux is a super secure operating system. It's not. The same goes for macOS.
Also, I think the fact that most of the executives, like C-level executives, they are on Mac system. So this make more tempting to the attacker to write something specific to the Mac, because these are all the big guys, right? So that's one of the main reasons actually.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. Yeah, because if we specifically target someone, yeah, we will know what kind of operating system or hardware this person uses, because it's also hard to find. And then, yeah, it can justify the case completely. Just one person who we want to hit for a very big outcome. Cybersecurity criminals, yeah, they can go for a widespread tactic. Yeah, but some can go, into like advanced attack style. Targeted. Use like spear phishing, and spear phishing means that you specifically target this person, like not even a company of 10 people, but not this one particular person. They research them, they know what he likes, what he expects, things like this, and then with social engineering, they target one person. Again, state-sponsored attack can be of a similar nature, because they know the country they want to hit, or specific company in this country they want to hit. We will target this particular company with malware which you never may see at all. You may experience it once in life when they attack this company, and that's it. It will never be anywhere else.
For example, there's a lot of like banking Trojan, which is specifically targeting Brazil. So whenever we do analysis on our side, at first it will not run, and once we do a deep investigation, turns out it is checking the IP address. If it's only connecting to specifically to the Brazil IP, then it will continue to do the bad stuff.
There are a few popular vectors of attacks, right? So most common way is through emails, via email channel, because we all deal with emails, right? And this is what people like open every day. They get used to it, but at the same time, a lot of information coming from this channel. And this is number one for the social engineering approach with malicious links, with some wrong attachment and things like this. Then another one is when they try to penetrate the system with a usage and vulnerability in a software. It means some flaw in the software, which allow them to do things that shouldn't be possible to do. This is just an error, a loophole in the software. So yeah, this is another way how they do it. And these like such initial stages. They can infect websites, and then the malicious code will download to your machine when you browse this website. If we're talking about targeted attacks, a lot of them, like really a lot of them, start with email or some kind of communication like this, like majority of the cases.
It is not going to be a very simple standalone payload where you click one binary and it will do the bad stuff immediately. Nowadays, attacker need to plan properly because of nowadays we have an EDR solution and it is no longer a traditional antivirus software. So that's why they need to involve like multi-stages kind of attack. Like on the delivery chain itself, they need to at least come up with at least 2 to 3 stages just on the delivery part, just to make sure that it can bypass the security solution in the system. So it's not going to be easy on their side as well, because we are also getting much more advanced on the security side. Usually it will be in sequence. So there will be a first stage where, for example, there is like one script being deployed. This script is heavily obfuscated. It cannot be easily read by normal eyes. So once it's being loaded into the memory, then all the decryption will happen, and then only it will reveal like what is the next step. So it turns out the next step is actually dropping another delivery chain. So this time it is using a different method, like using a different script, for example, like JavaScript. And after 2 or 3 attempts, then only it tries to drop the final payload, either some ransomware, info stealers, could be anything. So nowadays, if you can, delivery chain is somehow very important to plan, because the payload itself we can easily get from the internet, like it's available as a service.
It can happen very, very fast.
Yeah.
Like infection will happen within even seconds in some cases, or minutes. If we will encrypt the data, it will take time. Depends how we will encrypt it. It can stay hidden for a very long time also.
Yeah.
That's like another way when we want to spy on you or something, or get more data, wait for new data which you will receive to steal, right? And that's why we see some cases in the industry when some sophisticated targeted attacks were undetected for few years. Within few years we were stealing data. These bad guys were also human, right? So they can get sick. For example, they're sick, so they lie in the bed, they don't do bad things.
Spending money, going off holiday.
They can have holiday, yeah. They kind of rope good people, they got the money, and then they will go on holiday to spend this money. So when they're on holidays, they're not launching these campaigns, not develop new malware, don't do things, and there can be drops, yeah. There are some seasonal changes, like, when they celebrate some local stuff and things like this. Yeah, that's why it's like this. So we actually seen this for all the years I work in this industry. It's kind of the same. It can fluctuate, even depends on whatever, weather outside, because they may spend more time outside when it's nice weather. So what we see that, I would say, unfortunately, the number of threats continue to grow. Some of the approaches they used before are not so effective, right? So they always need to invent new ones. Another thing also is, like, for example, some political and economical situation changes, right? More people can be tricked into get easy money, which I think that's also, again, together with AI, contribute to how to say easier access, like easier way to become cyber criminal. And many silly people may want to try that because they simply stupid, they didn't think it through, because many of these guys are quite young. I also obviously will use new technologies more, right, because it works both ways. With the new technologies like AI, mostly to automate it, right, to make it a bigger scale, because AI help you to automate. 100 people to write your phishing emails on time. But with AI, you don't need 100 people, you need one program which will write these phishing emails 10 times faster.
Every quarter, there are always new technologies that we need to catch up. So if we need to do that, attackers also is also growing rapidly.
Some companies try to estimate, for example, ransomware damage, right? And this ransomware damage is measured in trillions, I think, currently. Trillions of US dollars, Singapore dollars, whatsoever. So it's quite big. This is the whole industry, right? They have black markets where they sell stolen stuff. They have specializations like groups focusing on developing malware, groups focusing on distributing malware, groups focusing on scamming people in a variety of ways.
It's become a marketplace for them already. Not just that they are creating malware to use by themselves, but instead they are creating malware to sell it so that others can use to be benefit from it. So they just like a supplier.
Malware as a service, and it's not appeared yesterday, right? It already exists for some years. We see in many cases, typically coming from Interpol, right, Europol, FBI, essentially they're able to catch bad guys, and that's a great thing. Yeah, so bad guys also need to understand this is not like we will walk free. Yeah. Sooner or later we will be caught. But number one, from my point of view, is for businesses to understand that they need security. Because some years ago, and maybe still in some areas and industries, people still think we are fine. We shouldn't fall victim to any kind of attacks because we're not interesting for them in any way. It should cover various vectors of attacks and as a result be multi-layered in nature. Like we all know it started with endpoint security, right? It's laptop, your desktop, mobile phone, things like this, right? And many years before, the whole industry was thinking only about this way. But then actually as internet spread more, as there are new technologies appear, new services and things, right? They come with new ways of attacks. And then without just number of technologies to stop various kind of threats, you simply cannot survive, and such protection won't be enough.
10 years ago, people only concerned about the security of the personal laptop, personal computer at that time, and they will go for antiviruses. But nowadays, everything is connected, even IoTs, all the smart TV, smart everything in house, everything which is actually smart is prone for attack. Tech company need to extend their product, their research and development to also covers not just instead covering to cybersecurity on the personal computer level, but instead they need to think of how to do a proper coverage in every area. Of course, AI is a big thing now. It's a very good thing to have nowadays, but at the same time, it's going to be headache for the cybersecurity researcher as well, because we need to combat those hackers which also utilizing the same AI. So it's never-ending cat and mouse game between us and them.